Muftawu Nabila here with sports on the AM show. In the next couple of days, Rugby Africa will be assembling to elect a new leader. Rugby Football Union of Ghana, Herbert Mensah, who is also a former Chief Executive Officer of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, has put himself up to contest for the position of President of Rugby Africa. Speaking to Al Jazeera, he said it's about time the sport in the continent is monetized.
By the Nigeria Rugby Football Federation to run for presidency, Herbert Mensah, a current member of the African Rugby Executive Committee, is also an accomplished businessman with many years of experience in Africa's business and sports sectors. In 2014, Mensah took the helm at the Ghana Rugby Football Union, where he significantly increased awareness around the sport while injecting much enthusiasm for players and officials, as well as encouraging the youth to participate in rugby through numerous initiatives and activities. He was instrumental in spearheading the national team's qualification in the World Series after they won the West African competition before moving on to the African Championship. Mensah's vision is to build a positive and strong brand for Rugby Africa and to make rugby more accessible and visible to all Africans, in particular the youth.
Sport is big business. It's no use being what we have been over the last decades of coming in and then expecting that somebody will assist us, because there are inequalities. We do understand that World Rugby, we're not a priority for them. So now we need to raise our bar so we can go back to World Rugby and say, look, you give us about $2 million a year or there and thereabouts. Yet somebody from Rugby Europe can get 5 million quid a year just for one country. We have 2 votes at the AGM for choosing the next president of World Rugby. England has 3 alone, France has 3 alone, and so on and so forth. So look, we're not getting up there and saying, give us 39 votes or 34 votes, the number of countries that are registered playing rugby within Africa. But we need to get greater equity. So you now need to monetize it. We now need to bring people on board who are commercially linked and commercially minded. We need to put programs on board. We need to get back to governments. We need to get back to global structures that will help us with training, kit supply, balls, sponsorship, to have leagues, competitions, put it into a chronology and say, how do we roll out where we're going, working with the great team from World Rugby, because they're extraordinary people there, and let them understand that, look, work with us in this area and that area. We will work with you in this area and that area. And look, by 2024, 2025, Africa will be back on the map.
The election will take place at the Rugby Africa's annual general meeting in Cape Town on 18th March 2023 to elect the president and other executives for a period of 4 years, commencing immediately after the results are announced by the executive committee. This will also be the first time in the history of Rugby Africa that elections will be contested.
Good luck to Herbert Mensah as he seeks to head Rugby Africa. The election is happening this Saturday. Let's talk some boxing now. And in Tokyo 2020 Olympics, Ghana's only medalist was Samuel Echechi. He was supervised by Black Mama's head coach Ofori Asari. He says that the boy has got a quality to become a world champion.
Majority of the world champions are Olympians and Olympic medalists. So I was thinking that no, all our champions who we have, most of them are not, some of them are not Olympians, and some of them too are not Olympic medalists as well. Yeah. And those who are Olympic medalists, none of them become world champions. That was Eddie Blay, Ikote Senior, Prince Amate. None of them have been Olympic champions. So I was thinking that Samuel Echechi must win Olympic medal and also must be able to win a world title to break that jinx as well. So in my mind now, I'm fully supporting Samuel Echechi. Do
you think he's on that trajectory to become a world champion?
Yeah, sometimes when you go to professional, it's not an easy thing. It's a very difficult, but in his eyes, is yearning to do that. And so, in any way, I'm also supporting him to be able to do it, because he himself knows within him that there has been Olympic medalists in Ghana, but none of them have been a world champion. So if he's able to make it to become a world champion, then that is also another step and another achievement. Yeah. So that is also a challenge that I'm always putting it to him. Anytime I meet him, I talk about it.
If you were his advisor, would you have told him to become a professional at this stage?
Well, turning professional, that one is a decision of the boxer. I always trust the decision of the boxer because most of the times.
But you're also the advisor. You're the person who's working with him. You know the qualities he has.
If I have Samotechi in my team now, why not? I'll be very happy because I know he can win a whole lot of medals for us. But the point is, he also wants to be a world champion, and there's age in all these things. And if you win a world title for Ghana, it's still for Ghana. If you win an Olympic medal again for Ghana, it's still for Ghana. And Isaac Dogbe took a decision which at that time is younger, and many people didn't believe it. And he was able to make it to the world title, winning a world title for Ghana. So who am I to say, unless he stay in amateur before he will be able to achieve something? Somebody can stay and at the end, he cannot achieve anything. You see, so my advice, I will want him to be with me so I will be achieving a whole lot with him. But I think also that the decision must come from him, because that is when there are some decisions when you take in your life, and even when you either you succeed or you fail, you don't regret.
Let's do some football now. And over the years, Cool's football has given way to academy football in the country. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Muftawu Nabila, says that academies in Ghana have produced some of the best footballing talents that we've got. He says that in partnership with La Liga, Ghana football will rise to its pinnacle and achieve the goals that the country is seeking to get to.
Going around doing scouting of players, and they use some of these facilities to scout young players to feed into the academies so that they will be able to develop them for our national team and also to develop them for the individual to develop their career. For sure. We have seen the benefit of it because as we speak here, we have young footballers who have passed through these academies, and today they are in our national team and they are doing so well. We can mention Kamal Din Sulemana, who went through Right to Dream Football Academy to Netherlands, to France, and now in England. Mohamed Kudus went through Right to Dream Football Academies, Netherlands now with Ayas. We have a good number of them. Nuama, who has just been called today, I just reading, he has been called to the under 20, under 20, under 23. National team. He plays in Netherlands through Right to Dream. A lot of talent, and we want to collaborate with La Liga for sure to make an impact in the development of football in Ghana.
To African football, Morocco, they have joined Spain and Portugal to submit a bid to host the 2030 FIFA World Cup. This was revealed by a representative of the King of Morocco, Kaki Ben Musa, during a CAF General Assembly in Rwanda.
With that in mind, I would like to announce before this assembly that the Kingdom of Morocco has decided, together with Spain and Portugal, to present a joint bid to host the 2030 World Cup. This joint bid, which is unprecedented in football history, will bring together Africa and Europe, the Northern and Southern Mediterranean, and the African, Arab, and Euro-Mediterranean worlds. It will also bring out the best out of the best in all of us, in effect, a combination of genius, creativity, experience, and means. I thank you, and peace be upon you.
Morocco had attempted to host the 2026 World Cup, where they lost to Canada. Mexico, and the USA. Now they are back seeking to host that of the 2030. Let's take a look at the format for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which was revealed at the 73rd FIFA General Assembly. It was a meeting of the FIFA Executive Council, which is ahead of the FIFA General Assembly that will be happening on Thursday. And this is what FIFA says, based on a thorough review that considers sporting integrity, player welfare, team travel, commercial and sporting attractiveness, as well as team fan experience. The FIFA Council unanimously approved the proposed amendment to FIFA World Cup 2026 competition format from 16 groups of 3 to 12 groups of 4, with top 2 and 8 best third place teams progressing to run of 32 of the competition. Don't forget, the number of countries that will be competing in the 2026 World Cup have been increased from the current number, which is 32, to 42. So the revised format mitigates the risk of collusion and ensures that all the teams play a minimum of 3 matches, whilst providing balanced rest time between competing teams. That's what the FIFA statement that came on Tuesday said. FIFA, in their email, also provided the international football window, which is going to happen 3 times next year, in March, June, and late September. So they say that it's going to mitigate the risk of collusion and ensure that all the teams play a minimum of 3 matches. So this will give them 9 points. Just as we saw the 2022 World Cup that took place in Qatar, the teams played 3 matches, which gave them 9 points. Unfortunately, your Ghana, my Ghana, got only 3 points out of those 3 matches that they played. It is another Wednesday, and it is another week where we take you to another youth resource center that has been left by the National Youth Authority and the Ministry of Youth and Sports to deteriorate, despite an investment of about $3.6 million into those facilities. We take you to Nyinahini and that of Yendi, where these facilities have been left to rot.
The Northern Region's Youth Resource Center is located in Yendi, and construction started on the facility in March 2018. 5 years on, the project looks abandoned and a long way from completion. While the stands have all been completed, the project has not seen any progress since then, with weeds and rubbish taking over significant portions of the facility. The grass on the football pitch has also been overtaken by weeds and largely overgrown. The paint on the tennis court is peeling away, and although grounds have been made for the running tracks, no sign of tartrans being laid. Parts of the roof on the VIP stand have fallen off, and the basketball and volleyball courts for now are just concrete slabs. In August 2022, President Akufo-Addo paid a working visit to the facility and said he was impressed with the progress of work. At the time, the contractor estimated the completed work of Phase 1 at 96%. 5 months since then, the president would be left massively disappointed by the state of the project in its current state, after failure to pay the contractor the remainder of his money resulted in the abandonment of the project. At Nyinahi, a community in the Ashimamponya district of the Ashanti region, the story is no different. And sports enthusiasts and aspiring football players are peeved at the neglect of an almost completed multipurpose sports complex. The room compartments are housing spiders and cobwebs, while air conditioners and ceiling fans are rusting away. Dampness and molds are eating the white paint-coated walls, giving the walls some greenish-brown, unpleasant look of distress. The football pitch is strangled by weeds, with risky pits littered across the pitch. Parts of it get muddy during the rainy season, which is unfavorable for any sort of footballing activity. And now in the dry season, the pitch on the grass has been consumed by bushfires. The Nyinahi Sports Complex is a 10-minute drive from the main entrance to town, which is home to Isaac Esiama, the former sports minister and current member of parliament for the area. It was under his regime works began on the project, and even his own is not spared of the neglect. Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia visited the facility in 2019 and expressed delight at the progress of work. But that progress has turned to waste, with more than $20 million so far invested in the 10 youth resource centers across the country, with very little on the grounds to justify the mammoth spend. Dreams have become nightmares, and the wait for world-class sporting facilities across the country continues unabated.
Pius Enam Hazide, I hope you've just seen that. You were here telling us that you are committed to completing those facilities. Just gone by is a facility that an office that you served as a deputy minister worked so hard on ensuring that it was completed. And if you take a look at what Fentio has put together, it clearly tells you that you give us words and act differently. It's about time that people who have been tasked to manage our resources do not just run by us with political oratory that has put them into certain positions, but it's about time that you begin to act in the interest of the people you represent. When Isaac Esiama was the Minister of Youth and Sports, he committed so much resources. It was one of the facilities that was close to completion. But here we are, the playing surface completely burnt. Just how much did it cost the taxpayer, you and I, to grass the place? And how much would it cost us to bring it back to life? You spend so much money building facilities, painting them, and in the end, you allow them to rot away, just like we have seen. It is terrible, and leadership in this country is becoming more terrible simply because you cannot just put in money. Your job is not to go on the field and work. Your job is to give people money to go out there and work. But what do? You prefer to use the money on other things. I spoke to someone who was telling me that people at the National Youth Authority, their core things they always want to attend to is to be traveling with the money that comes from the District Assembly's Common Fund. Until Isaac Esiama said, let's use a percentage of that money and do this. Quarterly, you receive about 10 million Ghana cedis. So it means that in a year, that's about 40 million Ghana cedis. And if you are investing $1.8 million on completing just one facility, and since 2020, you've not done even a single construction work on that facility, then I don't know the purpose. You serve as you claim you're serving Ghanaians. Muftawu Nabila Abdullahi with AM Sports. We appreciate your company.